This evening, major infrastructural works set to commence in Millie's Hideout. The first person diagnosed with monkeypox discharged. 3% processing fee on milk and dairy products to be suspended. In the region, Charles III, Antigua and Barbuda plans vote on King's role as head of state. And internationally, Russian military setbacks, pro-Moscow pundits criticize war plans. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. A quick response from the Guyana Fire Service led to the averting of a blaze at the Amelia's Ward Primary School in Linden earlier this afternoon. This is according to reports from Info 10. One teacher related to the news outlet that the fire erupted in a grade 6 classroom, which was completely burned. Fortunately, there were no reported injuries. However, significant losses have been recorded. Reports say that the classroom has a carpet and students normally sit without shoes. It is suspected that this may have been the case at the time of the blaze, since many students were seen without footwear. It was further stated that in their bid to escape the blaze, many shoes and other personal belongings were damaged. The students were involved in a classroom lessons when the fire erupted suddenly. Fire officers and the police are still on the scene and are yet to determine the cause of the fire. The Ministry of Housing and Water Central Housing and Planning Authority is set to commence major infrastructural works in Millie's Hideout, Linden, Region 10, Upper Demerara, Berbice. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell said work in the new housing development would commence within a few weeks. These include land preparation and the construction of roads and drainage in the area, which spans approximately 250 acres. Millie's Hideout has been identified for the construction of the housing unit as part of a commitment by the government to construct 1,000 homes to meet the housing needs in the mining town. Already, some 40 units are at various stages of completion at Amelia's Ward Phase 2. In the Amelia's Ward housing development, Minister Crowell said works are ongoing to develop 500 serviced house lots. Once these works are completed, allottees will be able to identify their lots to commence the construction of their homes. The minister further noted that ongoing installations of lights and upgrades of roads in the and around Linden and in the Amelia's Ward, Wismar and Wisrock housing schemes are underway. Since assuming office, the government has invested more than $1 billion in infrastructure development in Region 10. The Health Ministry, in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, will host a health and wellness fair at the Arthur Chung Convention Center on Friday. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony said several booths promoting healthy living and offering health services would be available to the public. Caribbean Wellness Day is a regional response to the threat posed by non-communicable diseases, according to the Caribbean Public Health Agency.
For someone coming there, it's not just about looking at exhibits. It's also interacting with the people who would be able to explain how to embrace a healthy lifestyle. So there will be lots to learn, and I'm sure people will be surprised that you can make small and simple changes that can result in a big difference in terms of longevity and a healthy lifestyle.
On Friday, the ministry will also sign a chapter with several agencies aimed at promoting healthier living in Guyana.
For the Wellness Charter, what we're trying to do is to get more companies, more agencies, more entities understanding the concept of wellness and to get their workforce to stay well. What that means is that we want to do more of the preventative aspect, trying to prevent people from getting sick. And the way that we can do that is for people to embrace a different type of lifestyle.
Minister Anthony stressed the importance of a healthy diet and reducing risk factors such as smoking, alcohol consumption, and the use of harmful drugs. Exercise is also being encouraged as it would help to keep the cardiovascular system active.
There are a number of bad behaviors that we have, or bad habits that we have. They include consumption of alcohol, consumption of cigarettes. We eat the wrong foods. We have moved away from fresh, healthy foods like vegetables and so forth. We eat a lot of fast foods. We drink a lot of sugar-sweetened beverages. These contribute to diabetes and so forth. So these things, we have to change them.
The annual event is geared at increasing awareness and promoting activities to address non-communicable diseases as well as mental health issues. Stick around after the break. The first person diagnosed with monkeypox was discharged, and construction worker and laborer detained amid firearm cannabis seizure.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. The first person diagnosed with monkeypox in Guyana has been released from the hospital. This was confirmed by Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony on Monday during his COVID-19 update. The minister added that there are no new recorded cases of monkeypox.
We haven't found any new cases, which is a good thing. We have had a number of calls and persons came in because they had various types of rashes, but none of it was confirmed as monkeypox because we did the confirmatory test.
Minister Anthony said on Monday that the first patient, male in his 50s, was released late last week and is now non-contagious. However, the second patient, a female in her 30s, remains hospitalized and is being monitored.
Our first patient is now back at home. That patient is non-infectious and can resume work. And we had a lot of his close contacts in quarantine. They have all now been rechecked. None of them showed any signs or symptoms of monkeypox, so they can resume normal activity as well. Our second patient, we are currently monitoring, and once the time is up, we'll be able to release that patient as well.
The first case of monkeypox in Guyana was confirmed on Monday, August 22nd, and a week later on August 29th, another case was recorded. So far, however, no other monkeypox cases has been recorded. The health minister has previously noted that he does not foresee a lot of monkeypox infections in Guyana due to the nature of the disease, which requires being in close contact with an infected individual for an extended period of time. A 3% processing fee on milk and dairy products has been immediately suspended. This announcement was made on Monday by the Ministry of Agriculture. Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa said the decision was taken as a move to ease the tax burden on citizens. A release from the ministry stated that it wishes to inform importers that the government of Guyana has decided to suspend with immediate effect the 3% processing fee on the invoice price for milk and dairy products. However, all sanitary requirements for importing milk and dairy products remain in force, the release added. The 3% processing fee on milk and dairy products was implemented in 2016 by then Minister of Finance Winston Jordan. However, according to the 2022 Agricultural Investment Prospectus, Ghana spends $35 million annually to import milk. Ranks of the Regional Police Division 6 conducted an intelligence-led operation at West Canchi Berbice, which led to the seizure of a firearm and over 400 grams of suspected cannabis on Monday, September 12th. The operation was conducted at the residence of a 21-year-old construction worker of Budan's housing scheme, West Canchi Berbice, who has since been arrested, along with another 21-year-old suspect, a laborer of Patrick Dam, Angois Avenue, New Amsterdam. During a search conducted in the said building, a .38 firearm was found hidden in the roof. A further search unearthed a black plastic bag containing several leaves, seeds, and stems suspected to be cannabis. The suspects were arrested and escorted to the Central Police Station, where the firearm was lodged, while the suspected narcotics was weighed and amounted to 486 grams. Don't go away after the break. Mixed emotions in Northern Ireland to Queen Elizabeth's death and thousands of children in DR Congo misclassed due to violence.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Barbuda, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Now we'll take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Antigua and Barbuda will vote on whether to become a republic following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Brown, said a referendum could take place within 3 years, but emphasized that the move was not an act of hostility. He made the comments after confirming Charles III as king and head of state of the Caribbean nation. Mr. Brown said he intended to introduce the referendum if re-elected next year. While he expects to win that election, his party holds 15 out of 17 seats in the House of Representatives and accepted that there hasn't been any significant demand to hold a vote among citizens. Internationally, people in Northern Ireland have expressed mixed feelings regarding Queen Elizabeth II's passing. Her visit to the Republic of Ireland in 2011 helped heal wounds caused by decades of conflict, but it is unclear whether those ties will be loosened with the ascension of her son, King Charles III, to the throne. Al Jazeera's Andrew Simmons reports.
They're familiar sights now, flowers spread all over the UK, but this is Northern Ireland, where murals colour in a history that's seen dark times. Here in East Belfast, the Queen was always revered by Protestant loyalists and unionists. Christine Roberts struggles to visualise King Charles III as the new monarch.
It's just hard because it's all we've known as the Queen. And when I met her, it was just the nicest woman you could meet. So honest, so sweet. And she took her time with you to get to know you.
Murals of a different kind abound in Republican West Belfast. The conflict known by the British as the Troubles slowly moved towards peace a quarter of a century ago with the Good Friday Agreement. Peace may have brought about a new form of moderate Republican politics, but in many areas such as this in West Belfast, there's still a deep-seated anti-monarchist sentiment. These areas were once IRA strongholds. Many people had refused to recognise the Queen when she was alive, and it's the same for the new king.
Personally, I don't care if he's here or not, but I won't be going to look at him. He's none of my business. I don't feel as he's representing me in any way.
She died in a 50,000 acre estate. That's ridiculous when people haven't got a house to live in and they've got about I don't know how many.
So where we are now is directly on an interface. So these people over here on this side have lost their queen, whereas the people on this side here would not recognise Queen Elizabeth as their queen at all.
Gary Donegan, a Catholic priest, believes King Charles has a mountain to climb.
It's an enormous weight on the shoulders of King Charles, because how does he, he's not his mother. Like, how does he take on that role, and how does he make it relevant?
The Queen had made breakthroughs with her first visit to Dublin, capital of the Irish Republic, in 2011. She'd always been listed as a legitimate target by the IRA, yet in 2012 she shook hands with the late Martin McGuinness, one of its former leaders. Now her son, King Charles, faces the challenge of continuing attempts to harmonise a cultural divide that still exists in Northern Ireland, and he may well find it harder going than his mother. Andrew Simmons, Al Jazeera, Belfast.
The resurgence of the M23 rebel group in Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo is disrupting schooling for thousands of children. The thousands are being forced to skip classes over safety concerns, Al Jazeera's Catherine Soy reports.
Schools have just opened in the Democratic Republic of Congo, but thousands of children in North Kivu province will not make it to class this term. The M23 armed group is advancing on the provincial capital, Goma. Hundreds of people in areas such as Ruchuru are fleeing the fighting between the rebels and Congolese soldiers. Some families have taken shelter in schools.
We are in a difficult position. We want the displaced removed from schools so children can resume classes. The government needs to find other places for the IDPs.
Many children are working as casual laborers to supplement their families' income. Government officials say they are facing an education crisis.
At the moment, we have thousands of children who have nowhere to go. That's about 75% of young children who have been affected by the ongoing conflict. We need to find a solution quickly.
The resurgence of the M23 rebels comes after a decade-long lull. In 2012, the group briefly took control of Goma and other areas of eastern DRC. Many people were killed or forced from their homes. The government accuses Rwanda of sponsoring the rebels, allegations Kigali has denied. Congolese troops have been deployed to multiple frontline positions to deal with the threat. But this is an army that is overstretched, fighting more than 100 armed groups in the region. Tired of running from bombs and guns, these Congolese villagers say they are not sure if they will feel safe again. Catherine Soy, Al Jazeera, Nairobi.
And finally, pro-Russian bloggers and analysts have been cheerleaders for the Russian military for the past 6 months, almost never mentioning battlefield setbacks. But after the recent Ukrainian counteract and the subsequent Russian withdrawal from Kharkiv, they are now openly criticizing war plans and calling on Moscow to be more transparent about the situation on the front lines. Al Jazeera's Gabriel Alonso reports.
Few people are more pro-Russian than this man, Igor Girkin. At the beginning of Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February, the self-described ultra-nationalists was a staunch supporter of the Russian military, predicting its advanced weaponry and skilled soldiers would make easy work of the outnumbered Ukrainians. But now, Gherkin's tone has changed.
I have an impression that in October our Russian army will break into pieces. It's not because they are incompetent or cowardly. It's because the Ukrainian army supply lines are much better than ours.
In the past week, during the Ukrainian counteroffensive, countless videos appeared to show a Russian military in collapse. But throughout this war, Moscow has been particularly adept at staying silent and refusing to admit or even acknowledging setbacks. The tone on Russian state TV talk shows, which for months refrained from any criticism of the invasion, has changed dramatically, with people pointing fingers at who is to blame for the losses on the battlefield.
People who convinced President Putin the special operation would be fast, that we won't strike civilians, that our military would keep things in order, these people really set us up for this. They lied to us.
And on another talk show, this.
We can't win a full-scale military operation using only the Russian army and this talk show and other propaganda.
The Ukrainian military offensive in the northeast has clearly broken the Russian front lines, but also exposed deep cracks within the pro-Russia blogger community that is now questioning everything about this war. Will it be enough for the Kremlin to change their tactics, or is the Kremlin even listening? Gabriel Ozondo, Al Jazeera, Kyiv.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2's Headline News Update. Tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.